Number 1, Michael and Ashley are a married couple who run a YouTube channel where they document camping trips, outdoor adventures, and the occasional stealth camping experience. For Ashley's birthday, they planned a relaxing overnight stay at a peaceful campsite in Tennessee.
Michael and Ashley, and it is Ashley's birthday today, and we are just regular camping. Just want to take it easy for her birthday, and
we're here at the Peaceful Hills Retreat. We got our own tiny little waterfall. Got a little bit of a fall.
And this will be our campsite for tonight. So maybe it'll be a good night.
Michael's found a rope. He's fixing to get up there.
Hoping to enjoy a quiet evening surrounded by nature. After arriving, they found a great spot near a small waterfall with an old fire pit already in place. They set up their tent, gathered firewood, and enjoyed the pizza they had brought along for the celebration. As the sun went down, they lit the campfire and settled in for what seemed like a perfect evening.
We have fire!
Look what I've created!
With a lighter and a fire starter.
While relaxing by the fire, Ashley suddenly heard something behind them. It sounded like a stick snapping or something moving through the woods.
Did you run into cool stuff? You don't get to see stuff like that when you're on the interstate.
What? I thought I heard something.
I mean, I heard something fall. It sounded like a stick or something fell. But you scared me.
I mean, I just heard something, so I just turned to look.
Do they have bears up here?
I
mean, I know like Gatlinburg does, but this is the opposite end of Tennessee. I don't know. You scared me so bad.
I was just turning around real quick.
I was like, who's there?
Who there? Who there?
They paused for a moment and looked around, wondering if it could be an animal. But nothing was visible. Since the forest often produces strange noises at night, they brushed it off and continued enjoying their evening.
Can you imagine how much wood we would have to find? Because you gotta think, that was a little bit of wood. I mean, if I had something...
Did not like that.
What?
What is that?
Huh?
It's getting crazy. We heard a gunshot and now whatever animal that is going nuts.
Coyote? Or a bunch of guys yelling.
No, it was an animal. I think it was coyote.
Well, it's crazy though.
Yeah, it was. I don't hear no more.
I hear 4. Like, what are these people doing?
I don't know.
Hmm? Where's it coming from?
Sounds like it's coming like to the east of us. Yeah, that way somewhere, but I don't know. I mean, we heard that loud ass gunshot, and then they went nuts.
Oh,
I don't know either.
well, they don't get closer. We're good.
Be crazy up in the waterfall campsite. Alright, that's our peaceful campfire. What the? Do y'all hear that? What the frick was that?
Sound like somebody.
That was creepy.
A little later, the atmosphere changed completely. Their camera captured a series of unusual sounds coming from somewhere deeper in the woods. Shortly after what appeared to be a distant gunshot, nearby animals became noticeably agitated, filling the forest with loud calls and cries. The combination of the gunshot and the strange noises immediately made the situation feel much more unsettling. As the sounds continued, some of them seemed animal-like, while others were much harder to explain. At one point, the noise resembled what could have been a person screaming in the distance. With no way to confirm where it was coming from or what had caused it, the couple could only listen and try to make sense of what they were hearing. Concerned, they briefly tried to determine the direction of the sounds, but as the noises grew louder, they decided not to venture farther into the darkness. Eventually, everything became quiet again. Although they stayed at the campsite for the rest of the night without any further incidents, the peaceful atmosphere had completely disappeared. To this day, it's impossible to know exactly what they heard. The sounds may have come from wildlife, another group of people somewhere in the forest, or something entirely unrelated. Whatever the source, the experience turned what was meant to be a relaxing birthday camping trip into a night they were unlikely to forget. Number Second Daryl is an outdoor creator who spends much of his time camping in remote wilderness with his dogs. After years of exploring isolated locations, he's had his share of unusual experiences, but one camping trip stood out as especially unsettling. The strange events began during the first 2 nights of the trip.
I've been woken up by something making some noise in the woods just behind our tent. And it sounds like they're clacking rocks together. It's second night in a row, around about the same time. It's 2:54 a.m. and stay around about the same time in the same kind of area and just behind our tent. And yeah, he's gone out there to check out what's going on. She won't go into the woods. And it stopped now. It happens for a couple of minutes and then it stops. So
around the same time each night, Daryl was awakened by an unusual sound coming from the woods behind his tent. He described it as something similar to rocks being repeatedly struck together. The noise would continue for a few minutes before suddenly stopping. What worried him even more was the behavior of his dog. Normally energetic and eager to explore, she refused to go anywhere near the section of forest where the sounds were coming from. Instead, she would sit facing the trees for long periods, watching the area without moving.
going back to the start of the video, when I began filming this video, for the past 2 nights, there's been this sound of rocks clacking together. That's what it sounds like. It sounds like someone hitting rocks together or something like that. And it's just, well, behind the tent here. If you see the edge there, she's actually sitting in front of where the sound comes from. Now, she doesn't go in there. She won't go in there. Both nights, I've woken up to see her awake. And then we hear the noise, she'll come outside and she'll sit there just like that. And the noise is coming from within this area over here. And this is the reason we went out today and went elsewhere just to stretch our legs, but because she'll sit there all day in front of this area. And this is her, which is not normal for the Yester. You know the Yester, she's always running about, hunting, trying to kill something. So that's why we went out today. And I proceeded to, you know, film. As you see, it's nearly dark now, the Yester's still sitting there. So yeah, the noise is coming from within these here woods. But they're very thick. So if we, I don't know if the Yester's gonna, oh, she just followed, yeah. Of course the Yester follows. She goes wherever I go. So, I have tried to take a look before. I'm going to do this now before we lose all light. But the Yester's right with me. But as you see, it's so thick in here. It's almost impossible to get in. And yes, I don't want nothing to do with it, which is extremely strange.
According to Daryl, this was completely out of character and made him question whether she was sensing something he couldn't. Wanting to understand what was happening, Daryl walked toward the edge of the woods before sunset. The vegetation was so thick that it was almost impossible to see very far inside. His dog still refused to enter the area, choosing to remain outside while keeping her attention fixed on the same spot. Despite the uneasy feeling, Daryl decided to spend another night at the campsite, hoping to capture whatever was making the noises. As darkness returned, the strange sounds started again.
I don't know what it is. I think this is a little fox. Kind of getting too close to the Yester. Where is the Yester? Fucking he's chasing. Fuck. Right, no shoes on. Like a fucking light. Guys, I heard that the Yester took off. It's just one of those the kind of lures I've seen. It takes us out because where is the Yester? There's Yeti. Yester, what are you doing, mate? Nabjorsen, Nabjorsen. We got something screaming at us just up there and you're sitting there? What's going on? Who's that person?
At one point, his dog suddenly became alert, reacting to movement somewhere outside the tent, while unfamiliar noises echoed through the trees. Eventually, everything became quiet again, and it seemed as though whatever had been outside had gone. But around 3 o'clock in the morning, the sounds returned for a third time.
Well, that's a new one. That was like a big dud just outside the tent. And that was closer than over there. It's been a couple of minutes. haven't heard anything else. So, there's many times I get out of the tent and see what's going on, but I don't think we're going to do that this time. He is telling me not to.
This time, Daryl heard a loud thud much closer to the tent than before, making the situation feel even more serious. Although he had often stepped outside to investigate unusual sounds during previous camping trips, this time he chose to stay inside. Trusting both his instincts and his dog's behavior, he decided it was safer not to leave the tent in the middle of the night. By morning, the campsite was quiet again, and Daryl never discovered what had been making the noises. Whether it was wildlife, another person in the area, or something else entirely remains unknown. Whatever the explanation, the combination of the repeated sounds and his dog's unusual reaction made it one of the most unsettling nights he had ever experienced in the wilderness. Number 3, the next encounter comes from Louis Blake, an Australian adventurer who travels through remote regions on his motorcycle, documenting the challenges of life on the road. On June 14, 2026, while traveling through the mountains of northern Iraq's Kurdistan region,
chips and a bag of fruit in there. I don't know if it's going to be attracting the bears or not. They said they didn't see any yesterday, but they had big lights out and were making lots of noise late into the night. And today they've just been like kind of chucking their chicken bones around the camp. They were really good at cleaning up. They cleaned up everything, all the rubbish, but they were just chucking all the chicken bones and the leftover chicken because there was too much. There was literally too much chicken, we couldn't eat it. So they're like, oh, I'll just throw it out for the dogs. But yeah, that also attracts bears. So yeah, it's been a long day. I woke up at about 4:30 this morning and it's now about 10 o'clock and the fire's still going. We're going to sit up for a little bit longer and then I'm just going to plonk in the tent. Hopefully no bears come.
he set up camp after spending the day with friendly locals. Before going to sleep, Louis explained that the group had prepared a large meal, but there had been far more food than anyone could eat. Some of the leftover chicken and bones had been thrown away near the campsite for stray dogs. Although the area had seemed quiet during the day, he knew that leaving food behind could attract much larger animals, including bears. As night fell, Louis climbed into his tent, hoping nothing would wander into camp. Not long afterward, the valley became unusually quiet. Looking into the darkness, he noticed a pair of glowing eyes staring back at him. At first, he couldn't tell whether it belonged to a dog, a wolf, or something much larger.
And it's like suddenly becomes so silent. I hear wolves howling, then I step on a mud crab kind of thing. I see two eyes. Oh man. Yep. You hear that? Man. Hopefully these wolves don't get me tonight. That dog howling now is the dog that I was playing with before, who's barking back at the wolves that were just howling. There was one on the mountain ridge over there.
Soon, wolves began howling from the surrounding mountains. Their calls echoed from ridges on both sides of the valley, making it clear they were somewhere nearby. While the local guard dogs barked back in response, the sounds made the isolated campsite feel even more exposed. Then, the situation became far more serious.
Hi, bear. Hi, bear. What the hell is that? My God, do you hear that? Please tell me you can hear that.
Through the vent of his tent, Louis spotted a large bear only a short distance away. The animal charged toward the guard dogs before disappearing into the brush. A little later, it returned to the campsite. Hoping to make the bear aware that a person was inside the tent, Louis kept his light on and spoke loudly while listening to the heavy footsteps moving through the nearby creek. Things became even more tense when a military patrol drove through the area. As they left, the guard dogs followed them, leaving Louis completely alone. With the dogs gone, the camera captured the sound of heavy breathing and deep grunts coming from just outside the tent, suggesting the bear had returned once again. When morning finally arrived, Louis carefully stepped outside to inspect the campsite. The grass around the tent had been flattened where the bear had moved through during the night, and every bit of the leftover food had disappeared. Fortunately, the bear had focused on the food rather than the tent itself. It was a close call and a powerful reminder of how quickly a peaceful campsite can become dangerous when food attracts wildlife. Number 4, the next story comes from Trudel TV, a channel known for stealth camping in hidden and unusual locations. On October 24, 2023, creator William decided to spend the night in Ballybully Forest in Ireland, a place surrounded by local stories of strange sightings, unexplained noises, and mysterious disappearances. Even knowing its reputation, he chose to camp there after dark. Finding a suitable campsite wasn't easy. The forest was full of steep slopes, dense vegetation, and very few flat areas. After searching for a while, William finally found a small clearing tucked away from the main trail. It wasn't the perfect location, but it was hidden enough for a stealth camp.
It's not ideal, but I'm in a dome tent, so I can really feel anywhere. I think I'll film a tent just here. We are a lot further back off the road, so we can't be seen as easy, but we can still hear the car noise with a bit of a pain, but I think it's the only option we've got.
As evening turned to night, he set up his tent and started a small fire. At first, the only sounds came from distant traffic outside the forest. Even so, he admitted the atmosphere felt unusually heavy, as though the woods were much quieter than they should have been. Curious to explore, William grabbed his flashlight and walked farther into the forest before it became completely dark. The deeper he went, the more difficult it became to keep track of his surroundings. Thick trees blocked his view, the ground grew uneven, and he found himself feeling increasingly uneasy.
You would get lost here very, very handy. But I guess you feel the goosebumps at the minute. I don't know if it's just something cold or there's something here with me. Something sinister. But here, if I'm freaking now, what will be like later on whenever it's pitch black? Now we are in the thick of it now. Go mad. I'd like you to hear something there. It's something saying to me, William, stop back. Because if you want me to come, I will come and see you. No, I'm not. I do not want you to come. You stay where you are in there. Spirits or whatever you are.
Eventually, the uncomfortable feeling convinced him to head back to camp rather than continue exploring. For a while, everything seemed normal again as he relaxed near the fire and focused on preparing dinner.
Hear that? So there?
But later that night, the silence was suddenly broken by the sound of something large moving through the nearby trees. Startled, William stepped outside with his flashlight and searched the surrounding area, but despite carefully scanning the woods, he couldn't find anything.
the biggest game you get where we don't get big game. Well, I think that's a nighttime stroll head in the head, definitely. Frank that. We ain't being born, I have to check back in the camera. But I swear I heard like something going past there. I'm freaking myself out now. Hey, this is getting a bit too real. It must have been Kim.
Back inside the tent, he tried to settle down once more. Then, another loud thump echoed somewhere beyond the campsite. Although he still couldn't see what had caused the noise, the repeated sounds made him feel as though something was nearby.
Get pissed. Right, I'm gonna turn these off for a minute or two. The f***? Did you hear that? Did you f***? My heart's going off. Who's out there?
To be safe, he left a phone recording overnight facing the entrance of his tent in case anything passed through the campsite while he was asleep. As the night continued, William reflected on the stories connected to the forest. Whether those legends were true or not, being alone in a remote woodland with unexplained noises was enough to make every sound seem more significant than it normally would. When morning finally arrived, he packed up quickly and headed back to his car without lingering. In daylight, the forest looked completely ordinary, but the experience had changed his opinion of the place. William later said it was the most unsettling night he had ever spent camping, and that he had no intention of returning to camp there after dark.
Kevin, who runs the Small Plots channel, is known for peaceful camping and hiking videos in quiet forests and remote locations. This trip, however, takes him somewhere far less inviting. He chooses a stealth camping spot tucked between a residential neighborhood, an industrial area, and commercial buildings, fully aware that it isn't the safest place to spend the night. Wanting to avoid attention,
Camping where I'm going to camp tonight. It's an incredibly sketchy area, kind of right at the edge of a city neighborhood and an industrial zone with a little bit of light commercial mixed in. We got about an hour before dark, so I'm moving. I'm going. We're a little behind schedule. It's okay. But probably the less amount of time I'm there, the better, because of the aforementioned, sketchiness.
he quickly sets up his tent before dark and hangs a tarp as rain clouds move in.
It's kind of a big pain in the butt, to be honest. There's rocks in the ground on one side, a big root in the other. Still the best spot around here, especially because I'm really running out of daylight here. Not a ton of time before the sunset. The best part about this tent setup is there's trees right there that I can easily just hang a ridge line and just easy tarp it. Don't have to figure anything crazy out. I want to do that soon. Any semblance of sun has made way for overcast skies, or, it's just setting. I can see kind of some yellow in the distance, but any clearness in the sky, rather, is completely gone. Total overcast. No drip drops yet, but
Once night falls, Kevin relaxes inside the tent with a drink, but the calm doesn't last long. An eerie airport warning siren echoes through the darkness, and moments later, something suddenly sprints past his tent, just a few feet away.
something just ran by the tent. It was the light to my eyes. I couldn't see anything. Had to have been a deer. Whew! I saw movement and this light to my eyes. It must have come right down a hill here and ran across. Oh man. Oh man. That was 3 feet from me. I don't see any eyes looking back. I don't think. Wait, maybe I just... Oh, they did. Maybe not. I don't know. Between the eerie alarm happening over at the airport and whatever it was that just ran past me about 3-4 feet in front of me, I think it's safe to say I'm a little bit on edge. It makes me think it wasn't a deer. Was I didn't hear any crashing before or afterwards. Deer are not like that subtle. And I didn't hear any crashing before it came in. Maybe when I listen to the video I will. But I didn't hear any crashing before or after. I just heard something run past me. I'm sure the camera picked it up. It was like right there. Whew, eerie. Of course my brain keeps going like, what if it was a person? But I don't think a person would be that light on their feet. It was really fast.
The movement is so fast that he barely catches it, leaving him unsure whether it was an animal or something else. He immediately scans the darkness with his flashlight, but finds nothing. What unsettles him most isn't just how close the encounter was, but how silent it seemed. A deer would normally make plenty of noise crashing through the brush, yet whatever passed his campsite arrived and disappeared without a sound. Kevin spends the rest of the night watching the darkness, unable to identify what came so close to his tent. By morning, he still has no explanation, leaving viewers to wonder what really raced through the shadows that night. Number 6. In 2018, a YouTuber named John uploaded a video to his channel, Lost Lakes, where he documents his backcountry camping trips and wilderness survival adventures across the Canadian wilderness. His channel had been growing quickly because of its high-quality outdoor content. One of his most memorable videos was filmed around 3:30 a.m. at a remote campsite west of Chapleau, Ontario, where there was no cell phone service. That night, John was suddenly awakened by the sound of something walking around his tent. The footsteps continued for nearly 45 minutes, circling the campsite without stopping.
Well, I am living every solo camper's nightmare right now. There appears to be an animal of some kind pacing around my tent. It's the middle of the night. I woke up at 3 a.m. and just couldn't sleep. And then around 3:30, I started to hear this ping sound. And 45 minutes later, it's still pacing around out there. So I'm gonna talk it out with the GoPro and maintain sanity, and maybe the talking will make it go away. I think I may have left it in the car. So while I'm tempted to hop out and get in the car, turn on my headlights, that's not an option right now because I'm an idiot and I can't find my key. And the pacing continues. It's all gravel here. This is a kind of a boat launch for this little lake here. So I can hear everything on the gravel. I can hear all the footsteps, but anyway, the talking isn't making it go away, but it hasn't made a move toward the tent yet, so I don't know. Maybe it's just curious, and maybe it's biding its time for an attack. I don't know. But anyway, if you're a solo camper, these are some good ways to keep your sanity.
Instead of panicking, he turned on his GoPro and started talking to the camera, hoping it would help him stay calm while he waited to see what would happen. The situation became even more stressful because he realized he couldn't find the key to his car. Although the vehicle was parked only a short distance from the tent, reaching it wasn't an option without the key. Since the campsite was covered in gravel, every step made a clear crunching sound, making it easy to hear whatever was moving outside. Throughout the encounter, the animal never came directly toward the tent, but it also never seemed to leave. Considering the location, there's a good chance the visitor was a black bear or another large wild animal. The area is well known for its healthy black bear population. While attacks on campers are uncommon, large wildlife can become dangerous if they feel threatened or are surprised. Inside a thin camping tent, there isn't much protection if a powerful animal decides to come closer. At the same time, Unexpected encounters with other people in isolated places happen more often than wildlife attacks. However, the pattern of the footsteps didn't sound like a person. As the tense night dragged on, John checked the safety gear he had with him, including bear spray, a hatchet, and an air horn, just in case the situation became worse. Fortunately, nothing else happened. The sounds eventually stopped, and by sunrise, whatever had been circling the campsite had disappeared. Even years later, John still has no idea what was walking around his tent in the darkness. Number 7. Ellie and Hannah, the creators behind the Paranormal channel The Ghostly Duo, traveled to the Old Stone Church Cemetery in Clemson to investigate the legendary grave of Eliza Huger, often called the Witch Queen of Clemson. According to local folklore, her grave is cursed. Many people claim that no plants can grow around it, and that the stone is struck by lightning every time it is repaired.
There's someone walking. Today we're at the Witch Queen of Clemson's grave.
I thought I saw something run.
Yep. We are going to be trying to make contact with her.
Maybe it's just... Fuck!
There's also 2 Revolutionary War patriots.
Andrew Pickens and Robert Anderson. Well, sounds like either listening or like crying. It's a Presbyterian church that was built in 1797 until 1802. The witch's name is Eliza Huger. There's lots of lore around her grave. There's no like historical sign of her. It's all folklore. Mostly talks about her having a tragic death, maybe having to do with a man.
A lot of people also think that she might be a witch, hence the name. Nothing concrete around her specifically.
No plants grow by it. Strucken by lightning, like every single time that it gets replaced.
Curious to see if the stories are true, the two begin exploring the cemetery after dark. As they walk through the old graveyard, they also mention that the site contains the graves of Revolutionary War figures, including Andrew Pickens and Robert Anderson. Although there are plenty of stories surrounding Eliza Huger, they discover there's very little historical evidence connecting her to witchcraft. Most of the tales appear to be local legends that have been passed down for generations.
Well, okay, they said she was buried inside of a stone wall plot. Could it be that?
I don't think so. Did you look at any of the pictures I sent you?
No.
Here.
It is cool.
That's cool. This area is cool over here as well.
This is it, Ellie.
Oh, Hannah did find it. Guys.
I'm not gonna lie, guys. I see plants. I see plants by the grave.
Debunked. Actually, the plants are thriving in the grave, from what I can see. I think
Totally
that was definitely a myth. It is cracked though,
Yeah.
I will say. Oh, we forgot the quarters. We'll have to go back in. Oh, we didn't tell them about that.
Oh yeah, okay, so one thing is people say that they leave glass marbles and coins as like offerings to her. They also say if you take any of it, that...
Someone left a vape, Hannah. Someone left a necklace. Wow. We definitely have some coins in the car, so
we'll go back and get them.
When they finally locate the grave, one of the biggest myths is immediately proven false. Instead of bare ground, they find healthy weeds growing around the cracked stone. They also notice several small offerings left behind by previous visitors, including coins, marbles, jewelry, and other personal items, showing that many people still believe the legend. As darkness settles over the cemetery, the atmosphere changes. While exploring near the Revolutionary War memorials, Hannah hears what sounds like a distant cry or whistle echoing through the trees.
Revolutionary War patriots. This marker commemorates the men and women who achieved American independence. These patriots believed in the noble cause of liberty, fought valiantly to found a new nation 1775 to 1783. This door's cool.
Oh, it's dark, Hannah.
So,
you hear that? Sounded like
crying, kind of. Maybe we should go ahead and do our investigation.
Okay.
It sounds like either whistling or like crying. I don't know. Did you hear it? That sound went off again.
No, I didn't.
I did. Sounded either like whistling or crying. I couldn't tell. Let's wait till we get in.
The strange noise repeats several times, making both investigators increasingly uneasy. Whether it was an animal, the wind, or something else, Neither of them can identify the source.
Steps are getting
Like right
to.
here.
Okay, so Ellie is gonna go grab some quarters or some coins and our candles from the car, and I'm gonna stay here by myself in the graveyard. I'm gonna try to use our recorder and see if I can catch anything by myself while Ellie's gone. Are you already feeling really spooked out?
No, the flashlight just wasn't turning on.
Is there anyone here that wants to speak with us? We're here to listen. We want to hear your stories. Eliza, are you here?
Is like all around me, and I can't see much of anything. I'm freaked out.
I was getting scared.
Ellie's so far away in the car.
Okay, I caught nothing.
There's someone walking.
Are you kidding?
No, I'm not kidding.
Grab the camera. Grab the camera. Where are they walking?
Right here. I thought I saw a head. Do you see it?
No, you're freaking me out.
Dead, Hannah. I saw someone walking. Dead. I don't know if it was like...
The tension rises when Ellie walks back to the car to grab coins and a few pieces of equipment, leaving Hannah alone in the cemetery. Standing in complete darkness, Hannah begins hearing what sounds like footsteps moving through the grass nearby. Even after shining her flashlight in every direction, she can't see anyone. When Ellie returns, both women continue hearing unexplained sounds.
I thought I saw something behind us. I'm not kidding. I'm not
What
kidding.
did you think that you
I
saw?
thought I saw like something like right here.
Where?
Right here. I'm not kidding, Hannah, at all. My heart is literally like in my chest. I thought I saw something.
Like a person?
Yeah, like crouching. But I don't know.
Do you think you got it on camera?
I don't know. I think it may have been in my head. I don't know. We also definitely could be freaking ourselves out, guys. We are scaredy cats, so
Yeah.
it's definitely a possibility for
Should we try necrophonic over here?
Yes.
Do you hear that?
No?
I heard something. Like, really.
Like what?
Like running. Like footsteps. It came from over there. I definitely heard footsteps. Or squirrel. Either footsteps or squirrel. Me too.
Okay. Well, guys.
At one point, Ellie believes she sees a dark figure crouching behind one of the headstones. The sight is so brief that she can't tell if it was a real person, a trick of the shadows, or simply her imagination.
You moving that gate scared the out of me.
Okay, guys. Hannah and I conclude that this place is not haunted. We got like no EMF.
No.
Really nothing on the spirit box.
There's a difference with the spirit box. If you guys look back in our last video.
Moments later, more sounds resembling footsteps seem to come from somewhere deeper inside the graveyard, adding to the growing sense of unease. In the end, despite several unsettling moments, they concluded that the cemetery did not provide clear proof that it was haunted. Number 8. Dale is known for his stealth camping adventures, often setting up camp in places where most people wouldn't even consider spending the night. His goal is to stay hidden, but that also means taking risks. In this video, he decides to camp in a small patch of woodland beside a busy motorway in the UK, knowing from the start that the location could easily attract unwanted attention.
Welcome back, people. We're out on another roadside stealth adventure. Number 5, I think, if I'm not mistaken. It's a Sunday. Picked this day purposely because I thought it would be easier to get into location. But it seems to be very busy. So we're going into this little bit of land in here, just up off the motorway. I think the only way we're really going to do this is just say frigate and just go straight in, because yeah, I think so. This traffic isn't going to stop anytime soon, I don't think. Yeah, frigate. Just how we're going to have to get on in here. Okay, over here's obviously no good because footpath is there. I'll give you a quick look at where we are anyway. So that's the motorway, that's the M2 there. Over in there was another possible I was thinking. I could do for another camp. I think we're going to stick with here for now. Do a wee bit of adventuring around in here and see what we can come up with.
Getting into the campsite isn't easy. The road is packed with traffic and people are passing nearby, making it difficult to slip into the woods unnoticed. After looking around for a while, Dale eventually finds a small clearing and sets up his camp in what seems like the safest spot available. Even so, the constant sound of traffic reminds him that he's far from a peaceful campsite. As night falls, a new problem appears. Dale realizes that the light he plans to use for cooking could easily give away his position to anyone walking across a nearby bridge overlooking the trees. With people able to see into the area, he becomes much more cautious about every move he makes.
So it's starting to get dark now, and I planned to leave to cook until later on, but I didn't think things through properly because this light is going to give me away, because if we just turn around, you can see just there, see that break in the trees, that is like, you know, people walk across that and they're bound to see this light.
I don't know if you can see, but there's two work vans right beside the road there, and probably up, and there's banging and clanging going on. What's the chances of stuff right beside my camp? For goodness sake. I want to go forward and let you see, but I'm scared of like cracking branches. And there. Over there. Can you hear that banging? Don't know what they're doing. See from the back of the van. I'll wait until a car comes so I can move.
Not long afterward, he starts hearing loud banging, clanging, and branches snapping somewhere close to the campsite. Unsure of what's causing the noise, Dale decides to investigate instead of staying hidden. Moving carefully through the darkness, he eventually spots several work vans parked nearby. As he gets closer, he realizes the vehicles belong to motorway workers carrying out maintenance. Even after figuring out what was happening, his curiosity pushes him to move closer than he probably should have. For a moment, he believes he's about to be discovered, and the close call leaves him visibly shaken.
totally it's a risky spot. My heart was full of dinger there. I was convinced they were coming in. Somebody told me I was here. But they don't know what they were doing. It's like some highway on the back of their vans there, so obviously somebody with motorways in it. That was close.
After spending several tense minutes watching from a distance, Dale quietly returns to his campsite. Fortunately, nothing else happens during the rest of the night. By morning, he packs up and leaves without any further trouble. Although the camp ended safely, the experience serves as another reminder that choosing the wrong location for a stealth camp can quickly turn into a stressful and risky situation. Number 9. The next video comes from Lost in Wonder, a solo travel channel where Daniela shares her van life adventures and road trips across Canada and North America. Her videos usually focus on quiet travel, hidden destinations, and life on the road. But during one stop in Niagara Falls, Ontario, an ordinary evening takes a leap. Daniela notices a man standing nearby who keeps looking in her direction. At first, she tries not to jump to conclusions, assuming he might simply be checking his phone or wondering why someone is talking to a camera. Instead of paying to stay in a nearby parking lot, she decides to search for a quieter place where she can park her van for the night. While reorganizing the messy interior after a rushed trip, she has the van's lights on, making it much more visible than she'd like. In that moment, she realizes she's far from hidden.
In here. What? Okay, this is not working. Okay. Okay. All right. I cannot see anything.
As she finishes setting up her bedding, she looks out the window and notices the same man standing in the dark parking area, facing directly toward her van. He isn't moving, and his attention appears fixed on her. Daniela tries to think of innocent explanations, wondering if he could be waiting for someone or simply passing time. But after several long moments, the uncomfortable feeling doesn't go away. Not wanting to take any chances, she leaves the area and finds another parking spot overlooking the illuminated Niagara Falls.
But it is a very, very chilly night. And over there is the United States of America. This is the border, guys. It is so cold. So I was going over there to the Sheraton because I have a wine tasting coupon. However, that little spot that I just parked costs.
Once parked, she covers most of the van's windows with fitted blackout shades for privacy. However, she intentionally leaves the rear windows uncovered so she can still see what's happening outside. After the unsettling encounter, being able to watch her surroundings feels safer than being completely sealed inside the van. Fortunately, nothing else happens that night. Still, the experience is a reminder that solo travelers can sometimes find themselves in uncomfortable situations, even in busy tourist areas. Sometimes it's impossible to know whether someone has harmless intentions or whether it's simply your instincts telling you to move on. In Daniela's case, trusting that feeling and changing locations was the safest decision. Number 10. This video comes from Taste of Outdoors, a channel run by two brothers who combine mountain hiking, wilderness camping, and outdoor cooking. Their latest adventure takes them into the Canadian Rockies after several days of heavy rain. The plan is to hike nearly 12 kilometers to a summit near Calgary, Alberta, and cook a meal in the mountains. But the trip quickly becomes much more dangerous than expected.
Stop on the road, but look at this. White-tailed deer. Those are the velvets. Dog, biru nahi aayi. Bear. Holy we just got here and there's a grizzly right in front of me. Bear! Hey bear! Hey bear! Hey bear!
Before the hike even begins, they stop to look at a group of white-tailed deer beside the road. That's when they suddenly spot a grizzly bear standing only a short distance away. The encounter catches them completely by surprise. They immediately back away, get into their vehicle, and wait until the next morning before continuing with their trip. The hike proves to be far more challenging than they expected.
Some places I'm going down all the way to my thighs. Yeah, it's just too risky. Whoa. You see? That's scary. I want to be on solid ground. All right, so we are almost at the summit. The summit is right up there. But the problem is we don't have proper snow gear, and we were not expecting this much snow. So a little change of plans. We're not going to go over the summit. We're going to hike back down a mile where there's lots of firewood up here in the alpine zone.
Deep snow covers sections of the trail, and without proper equipment, reaching the summit becomes too risky. Rather than push their luck, they decide to turn around before reaching the top and begin making their way back down the mountain. During the descent, they notice something even more concerning. Fresh grizzly bear tracks are pressed into the soft ground directly on the trail ahead of them. The footprints look recent, suggesting the bear may have passed through only a short time earlier. Knowing they could be sharing the same trail with a grizzly adds a whole new level of tension to the hike. Not long afterward, they spot another bear, this time a large black bear.
God damn, we just spotted another black bear, and it was huge. It ran off as soon as we shouted, but there's a lot of bears here. You gotta be careful, very careful. It was somewhere down there. All right, this camp spot is as good as any. You've got pretty flat ground, amazing views, and an already built fire pit. So that makes our life a lot easier. The only concern is we spotted a bear about 100 meters up there. I mean, yeah, you don't want to spit the bears. Not the first choice for me, but I don't know if you're gonna find a better camping site than this. I think this is it. First things first, we gotta see where the flattest ground is. Oh. It's not bad. It's got a little slope to it, but it should be okay.
Fortunately, it runs off after they make enough noise, but the repeated encounters make it clear that the area is full of wildlife. Later, while searching for a place to spend the night, they choose a campsite with flat ground, beautiful views, and an existing fire pit. However, there's one major problem. Earlier, they had seen another black bear roughly 100 meters away from that exact location. Despite the risk, they decide to stay, believing it's still the best available campsite. Throughout the rest of the hike, they regularly call out into the forest to avoid surprising any nearby bears. By making noise, they hope any animals in the area will move away before an unexpected encounter can happen. In the end, they never reach their original goal of standing on the summit. Instead, the trip becomes a story of adapting to changing conditions and safely navigating one wildlife encounter after another. After multiple bear sightings, difficult terrain, and deep snow, they make it back to their vehicle without injury, proving that sometimes the smartest decision in the wilderness is knowing when to turn back. Number 11, while exploring a remote forest, a YouTuber known online as Dancer came across something completely unexpected: an old landline telephone sitting alone among the trees. Curious about why it was there, he picked up the receiver. Whatever he heard on the other end immediately left him feeling uneasy. The forest he was exploring was believed to be connected to Bohemian Grove, a private property known for its annual gathering. Because the area is closed to the public and heavily restricted, it has become the subject of countless rumors and conspiracy theories over the years.
And construction on the road. Here's an AED. Oh, there's no AED in here. That looks like a poisonous spider. You, dude. Hello? Huh. All right. Phone will ring in hospital and security. Well, I should have read that before I touched it. I might have just blown my cover. I am fucking stupid.
Very little is publicly known about what happens there, which has only added to its mysterious reputation. According to Dancer, he had entered the property several times to document what he found. His videos showed unusual cabins, strange structures, and isolated areas that gave him an uncomfortable feeling. Some buildings looked like rustic lodges, while others appeared more industrial, making the location seem even more unusual. The most memorable moment came when he discovered the hidden telephone. After picking it up, he noticed a warning suggesting that using the phone could alert security. Realizing he might have triggered an alarm, he worried that someone would come looking for him. Fortunately, no one appeared, and he left the area without being confronted.
A letter in the mail from San Francisco, California. Bohemian Club, Weaving Spiders, come not here, San Francisco. Dear Mr. So-and-so. It's the real mail, guys. It's crazy. It is our information that, in spite of the private nature of the Bohemian Club, you have made unauthorized entries into the Bohemian Grove, and that while you were on the property, you took unauthorized video recordings of the Grove and events happening at the Grove. We also understand that you have posted these unauthorized recordings on various social media sites. The Grove is the private property of the club and is available only to members of the club and invited guests and the club's employees and contracted service providers. No one else is allowed to enter the Grove, and there are many posted signs around the perimeter of the Grove declaring that it is definitely private property and prohibits trespassing. The purpose of this letter is to demand that you terminate immediately the dissemination via social media or otherwise of these unauthorized recordings, and that you cease and desist from any future dissemination or transfer of these unauthorized recordings in any manner.
Nearly 2 years later, Dancer revealed that he had received a letter in the mail from the Bohemian Club. The letter claimed he had entered private property without permission, recorded videos inside the area, and shared that footage online. It demanded that he stop distributing the recordings and remove any related content. Although he never revealed the complete letter, he said he had been asked to take down the videos connected to Bohemian Grove. Interestingly, some of those videos later remained available online, leaving it unclear whether they had been temporarily removed or simply made private before being restored. Sometime later, Dancer uploaded a separate video discussing his struggles with depression, isolation, and his mental health. He spoke openly about difficult periods in his life, but did not connect those challenges to the Bohemian Grove incident. While some viewers speculated that the two events might be related, there is no public evidence supporting that claim. Thankfully, he told his audience that he was doing better, and many viewers expressed their support and hoped he would continue recovering. Number 12. On May 25, 2026. YouTuber Angelo from Exploring with Angelo traveled to the mountains near Lake Chuzenji in Nikko, Japan. The lake is well known for its beautiful scenery, but it has also gained a reputation because of the number of drowning incidents that have occurred there over the years. With thick fog covering the mountain roads, Angelo and his friend headed toward the lake, hoping to reach their campsite before nightfall.
All the crazy winding turns and hairpin turns, and if you're an Initial D fan or an anime fan, you know Initial D. The roads out that way are actually what they base the anime off of. They're literally named the Initial D corners. There's their number from like 1 through whatever. So basically, we're going to end up driving through there. We're going to hike the lake. We're going to camp out there tonight and see what ends up happening. Are you ready?
Yeah, let's go.
All right, let's do this. First things first, we're going to show you the new ride we got. So what I initially booked was a Toyota Prius. As per usual, it's the go-to. This time, they gave us a Maserati. Now, I know it says L, which normally means Lexus, but in this case, it's a Maserati. It's actually nice. What do you think of the car so far?
It's very nice.
Yeah, it handles nice. It's very comfortable. I wasn't really expecting to see a girl, and I think a boy as well. But the weird part is that they actually see people walking on the water.
That's not creepy at all.
Yeah, like just in the middle of the night, they'll just be like in the middle of the freaking water. I think he wants to race. Want to go, buddy? I'll up your Toyota to my Lexus. But this one is really cool. Well, approaching the beginning of the boardwalk. which makes life a little bit easier. And I know there's just like bits and pieces of it. There's the sort of first view of the lake. It's still quite foggy. How convenient that they put this boardwalk here. Oh, more hikers coming through. Hi. Hello. Last time I came here, I didn't see a single person. A lot of the living anyway. This time it seems like there's actually...
The drive itself was an adventure. The winding mountain roads, famous for their sharp hairpin turns, are well known among driving enthusiasts and are often associated with the Initial D anime series. After unexpectedly receiving a much faster rental car than planned, they made their way through the fog and eventually reached the hiking trail. As they climbed higher, the weather became noticeably colder. Even though it was the end of May, temperatures were close to freezing, and the forest felt unusually quiet. Walking along the wooden boardwalk beside the lake, Angelo talked about local ghost stories, including reports of a young girl appearing near the shoreline and mysterious figures said to walk across the surface of the water.
Also, unfortunately, we got a bird or garbage for Yogi Bear. So, let me pull up the info we have on this place so you guys can get a better idea of what we're dealing with. In essence, they do say that there is the ghost of a little girl, which is the Shoujo no Yurei, the most frequently mentioned apparition in the spirit of a young girl. Sightings are reported around the lake, sometimes linked to drowning incidents or water-related tragedies. So you said you saw a silhouette of a girl.
I would assume child, based on the height, yes. I understand people.
Then there was the other one where they say spirits walking on water. Some claim to see figures or lights.
Here a long, long time ago.
Okay. And there's lots of those buildings back there, right?
Yeah, what the hell is that?
Something's moving on the rocks. Yeah, it kind of sounded like something was walking on the rocks over here.
What happened?
Something just like touched my hand. Like full on, like it felt as if someone was grabbing my hand.
What the hell?
Yeah.
While these stories are part of local folklore, there is no evidence that they are real. After reaching a quiet beach, they built a small campfire and continued exploring the area. While taking photos with a night vision camera, Angelo believed he noticed what looked like the outline of a child standing near the trees. A closer look didn't provide any clear answers, but the image was enough to make the atmosphere feel even more unsettling. Later that night, they began discussing the legends surrounding the lake while using a spirit box, a device commonly used by paranormal investigators. During the session, they heard movement coming from the nearby rocks, as if something was walking around in the darkness. Moments afterward, Angelo suddenly reacted, saying it felt like someone had grabbed his hand. Although he couldn't explain the sensation, nothing visible appeared around him. A short time later, Angelo thought he caught a brief glimpse of what looked like a small child near the tree line.
For like a split second, I thought I saw what looked like a little girl. See where that tree stump is?
Yeah.
Like right there.
He's just trying to snap some pictures.
Trying.
That fire's gonna go out if we don't tend to it.
Huh. Okay. Cool.
Figures seemed to disappear almost instantly, making it impossible to tell whether it was a real person, a trick of the light, or simply a case of mistaken perception in the dark. Despite the unsettling moments, they continued tending to the campfire and documenting their experience, leaving viewers to decide for themselves what really happened that night. Number 13, in September 2020, a group of campers returned to their campsite expecting everything to be exactly as they had left it. Instead, they were greeted by a terrifying scene. A massive grizzly bear had wandered into the camp and was violently attacking their tent. The bear repeatedly clawed and bit at the fabric, tearing into it as though it was trying to get inside. From a safe distance, the campers could do little more than watch as the powerful animal destroyed their shelter.
А там палатки-то никого здесь нет. Ну, молодые. А кто туда пойдет? Хорошо.
Он дерет ее там вот это.
Да уж. Разодрал, по-моему, грызет сейчас, да? Голодный. Что делать?
Every second felt longer as the bear continued ripping at the tent. Eventually, the recording came to an end and the bear moved on. Thankfully, no one was inside the tent during the attack and the campers escaped without injury. Had they been inside, the situation could have ended very differently. These were some of the most disturbing camping encounters ever caught on camera. Which one unsettled you the most, and how would you react if you found yourself in one of these situations? Number 14, the next video, comes from Katie Romes, a UK creator who documents her solo hiking and wild camping trips across the country's most remote landscapes. Her videos focus on the real experience of spending time alone in nature, including both the peaceful moments and the mental challenges that come with it. On June 17, 2026, she decided to spend the night inside Cathedral Quarry in England's Lake District.
Oh, a house! I think this is going to be home, you know. It seems like people have been here before. Yeah, there's a game of noughts and crosses. Is that a little sofa set up? Wait, that's a fire pit. A sofa? Another sofa? Someone's made a whole house here. This is so cool. With my nerves right now. I don't know, there's something weird about this cave. It just doesn't feel right. It's so eerie. This is the problem, is when you're alone, there's no one to I don't know. Well, there's no one for anything, to be honest. I've got absolutely no signal, and I don't think that's helping either. I have got my SOS device.
After exploring the abandoned quarry, Katie found what looked like a comfortable place to camp. Previous visitors had left behind makeshift furniture, a fire pit, and even simple games carved into the rock, making the cave feel surprisingly welcoming at first. That feeling didn't last long. While setting up her sleeping area, she discovered 2 large cave spiders living only a short distance from where she planned to sleep. The discovery was enough to make her move all of her gear to another part of the cave, but even after relocating, she couldn't shake the feeling that something about the place didn't seem right. Camping alone made the experience even more difficult. With no phone signal and no one else around, Every sound and every shadow felt more unsettling. She tried distracting herself by looking at the markings left on the cave walls, but some of the drawings and messages only added to her growing sense of unease.
Like, I feel kind of sicky, but not sick. And then there's writing on the wall that literally says turn back. The whole thing's just giving me the heebie-jeebies. The heebie-jeebies. The rain's actually getting heavier. Adventure time with Katie. We're on tomato and mascarpone pasta in a cave in very, very heavy rain. I think it's got some atmosphere about it. Creepy atmosphere.
One message telling visitors to turn back especially caught her attention, making it even harder to relax. As heavy rain continued outside, Katie tried to settle in and prepare dinner. Then, one problem after another began to appear. Her fully charged headlamp suddenly stopped working, and her camping stove refused to stay lit despite having fuel. Whether these were simple equipment failures or unfortunate timing, the back-to-back issues only reinforced her feeling that spending the night there wasn't a good idea. Instead of ignoring her instincts, Katie decided to pack only the essentials and leave the cave. The hike back wasn't pleasant. Rain soaked her gear, her lighter became useless, insects surrounded her in the darkness, and she was left without a warm meal. Even so, she felt safer outside than remaining inside the quarry. By around 9 p.m., she made the final decision to end the trip and return to her car, rather than force herself to stay overnight. Although nothing paranormal or dangerous ever appeared, the experience highlights an important lesson for anyone exploring remote places alone. Sometimes your instincts are worth listening to, and knowing when to leave can be the smartest decision you make. Number 15, the next encounter, comes from Haunted Finders, a paranormal investigation channel from the UK that explores forests and other locations with reputations for unusual activity. On April 10th, 2026, the team visited Bourne Wood in Lincolnshire, a large forest surrounded by local legends involving witchcraft, shadowy figures, strange voices, and other unexplained sightings. They entered the forest with only a short time before sunset.
It's called Bourne Wood in Lincolnshire. This is a massive forest, dense forest. It was originally part of a much larger forest hundreds of years ago, and there are countless strange occurrences here. Now, when I was recommended this place, I did the first bit of research and found out about the haunting of a witch. There is an older lady who was named Nancy Rut, but people referred to her as Nanny Rut, who's said to haunt this forest. At first I thought it sounded like someone was walking up, and then sounded like someone was whispering. Over there.
Giving themselves just enough daylight to get their bearings before darkness took over. According to local folklore, the woods are haunted by a woman known as Nanny Rot, a figure who has been part of the area's stories for generations. Whether those stories are true or not, the setting alone created a tense atmosphere. Not long after beginning their investigation, the team started hearing unusual sounds. At first, they thought someone was walking nearby, followed by what sounded like faint whispering deeper in the forest. During one of their spirit box sessions, the device produced a few isolated words that seemed unusual enough to make everyone stop and pay closer attention, although none of the responses could be verified as anything paranormal. As the investigation continued, a loud scream-like sound echoed through the trees. Soon afterward, several members of the group admitted they were feeling increasingly uneasy and distracted, saying it was becoming difficult to stay focused. They also reported hearing footsteps and other noises coming from different directions, making it hard to tell whether someone or something was moving around them. The tension increased when one investigator suddenly claimed to hear breathing close by, as though someone was standing only a few feet away.
Listen. Oh. What the hell? Many other souls. Do you know what? I feel weird in here. I'm not I'm going all like, it's like I'm spacing out, and then I forget what I'm even doing.
Like you're not.
Like I felt, yeah, like I didn't even know where I was then. Like I completely forgot that we were saying, what is it that you want often? And it said, chaos. Many other souls.
Yeah.
Chaos now.
Yeah. That. Yeah. That. Did you hear that?
I heard something, but I couldn't make it out.
It's too deep.
Oh, I did not like that.
So well up there.
That was somebody.
Keep it going.
That was somebody breathing.
I think you picked it up.
My voice is heard. My voice is heard.
Yeah,
I've just heard a child. I'm telling you, it was almost like a. I don't know. It could have been a. It sounded more like female, but it could have been a young boy. I don't know. But it was a kid.
Yeah.
Listen. Right? That was music. What the Hello? In that spot?
Not up there, no.
Sod that. I feel like we're being followed. I don't like it. There's somebody walking behind us.
Oh.
In the pitch black.
Where is it?
They're on their own.
Yeah, I can see him.
Let me see if I can catch it on the camera. He's up there. He's followed us all the way down that massive road. He's got no torch on. Literally in the pitch black on his own.
Later, another member believed they heard the voice of a child somewhere in the darkness. A short electronic sound, similar to a phone notification, was also heard from deeper within the woods. In such a remote location, the noise seemed completely out of place, although its source was never identified. As the group began leaving the forest, one final moment caught everyone's attention. Looking back along the trail, they noticed what appeared to be a lone figure walking behind them in complete darkness. The person wasn't carrying a flashlight, making them difficult to see, and they seemed to be following the same route while keeping their distance. From that point on, many of the strange sounds they had experienced earlier took on a different meaning. It's impossible to know whether the figure had been nearby the entire time, or whether the earlier noises were connected at all. The video doesn't provide clear answers, leaving viewers to decide whether the team experienced something paranormal, encountered another person in the forest, or simply let the isolated setting influence their perception.